These tomato plants look awful. Who would want to grow tomato plants after looking at these? I'm sure you know, though, that not all tomato plants look like those tomato plants. If you saw tomato plants that were beautiful, that did have lots of fruit, would that not make you want to grow tomatoes? Sure would make me more excited about growing tomatoes. Thank you so much for joining us here on Mission Viewfinder today. Today I want to talk about another thing. That oftentimes when people go by what they see, they don't want to be that kind of person. They don't want to go there. But when they see it done well, when they see it done right, they want it. They want to be that kind of person. What am I talking about? A Christian. You're probably also wondering what in the world I'm doing out here. Well, I'm getting ready to transplant some pepper plants and some basil plants that are in some little pots into some bigger pots. The most important thing we're figuring out, though, is the soil, because we don't want them to turn out like those tomato plants did. Seriously, though, let's stop and think, how many Christians have we met in our lives that when we look at their lives, we really want to be a Christian like they are? It's so attractive, we can hardly resist it. How many people do you know? Stop and think about it. Thinking about it myself, I couldn't think of that many people, maybe 3, 4, who really, when I look at their life, it was like, I want to be a Christian. It's worth it. That's really desirable. Why does it matter, though? Here's why. How are people supposed to want to become Christians if what they've seen of Christianity isn't something desirable? I mean, if you ask a lot of the people here in this country, a lot of them would go, Christians, they're the people that do all the bad things that we do too. So what's better? What's the difference? I don't even know how you're supposed to vlog when your hands are so dirty. Actually, they're not that dirty. Here's the exciting thing, though. You and I can make a difference. We can show them that being a Christian is the best life in the world. But that means that we have to really live it. We can't just try to act like it. They will see the difference. If we really live the life of a true Christian, can you imagine how many more people would want to be Christians when they see how truly wonderful it is? Got to put in some nice compost too. And we are finally ready to plant a pepper plant. I was just reading recently about how a Christian's life is like a stream. That's how it should be. It should be like a stream where it flows and it grows bigger and wider. And wherever it goes, it doesn't matter how dry the surrounding area is, wherever it grows, wherever it goes, there will be greenery, there will be green grass, there will be green trees right along the banks of that stream. It reminds me of when I was in the Grand Canyon, everything was so dry, but it was like you could tell where the streams were before you could see the water because it was so green. And you know what? I got thinking about that. I was like, can you imagine if my life was such that everywhere I went, people's lives were beautified, people were refreshed, people were invigorated, people grew as a result of my life? That's the kind of life more people would want to have. More people would want to be a Christian because they would see how beautiful, how satisfying, how beneficial it is. We all have times in our lives that we wonder why we don't have the joy that God has promised. Jesus says, I have commanded you to do all these things that your joy may be full. The question is then, why isn't our joy full? I would tend to say that it's because we're not doing something He's commanded us to. It may just be some of those sins in our lives that we haven't completely let go of. Maybe there's things in our lives that need to be taken out before we can grow like a beautiful tomato plant. Wow, I didn't think I could get those done in time, but I did with God's help. You may not think that you could be one of those Christians that would just radiate with God's love and help everyone else see that there is something wonderful to being a Christian, but I believe you can. Will you take up the challenge?